Hola, buenos días, es Nico.
We got you. We got you. Yeah.
So today, bitch. Before we get started, if you like this kind of content, make sure to follow me on patreon.com/NicosAesthetics. Sorry, my bad. If you like video games, make sure to follow me on twitch.tv/NicosAesthetics. If you like thirst traps, Twitter, Instagram, Nico's Aesthetics. If you like humor, Nico's Aesthetic. Also violence, a lot of violence. But I just had to get all that shit out the way just because it's about to get like really serious. And obviously we can't say certain words on YouTube. So if you're going to reply in the comments, and make sure not to say the R word or the SA full word, just so that I can actually read your comments, because I'm gonna need your opinions on this one, because this is getting a little dicey. So essentially, what happened on Twitter, and like I said, I'm just gonna skip right into it because the story is very intense and very troubling. So this person came forward and said that one of my mutuals, well, ex-mutuals, Th3saddestangel, he's a DJ in New York and LA, like he travels, SA them. SA, like sexual intercourse that was not completely consensual, that kind of thing. And it was a lot. It was a lot, like a lot of dark shit about this person came out afterwards, because let me get into the actual story. Let me start there. So basically this person said, okay, I'm gonna basically summarize it because they both made like long threads about what actually happened, and sometimes the story conflicts, so I'll tell you about that. Essentially, this person said, I met this person. I met Saddest Angel, aka Isaiah. We'll just say Isaiah because it's his name. It's in public knowledge. I don't have to. Also, this is all alleged. Alleged. So now that I got that out of the way, let's get into the story. This person said, I met Isaiah at the bar where I was out with my friends, and he came and groped me. So I called him out on it. It was fucked up, whatever. I went home. So I then got on Grindr. I invited a DL faceless profile to my home, and when they got to the door, they had a t-shirt covering their entire face. I thought it was because of COVID, so I did not ask him to remove his t-shirt. We then proceeded to have sex, where I then looked back, and this person had removed the t-shirt, identifying themselves as Isaiah, the DJ. It is from there that I told him to get off me, and they stopped having sex. He was saying that was a fucked up thing to do, and that Isaiah was continuing to pressure him to continue, and he was getting scared because he had constantly asked him to leave, and eventually he finally left his home. Isaiah's recount of the story is that he accidentally bumped into this kid. I say this kid because I don't know this person's name. He accidentally bumped into this kid, and he said he did not grope him and that it was an accident. He then said he was just drunk and horny after the club, so he made a profile on Grindr where he doesn't like to have his pictures up, and he's very secret about his personal life, and he doesn't want that for himself to be all up on Grindr. So he made this faceless profile. He didn't comment on hiding his face at the door. He just said, yeah, and then when we started, he was like, oh, you're that guy from the club. Nope. How he did not comment on how he hid his face to get through the door. And then he I'm sorry, I should not be laughing, but it's just the story falls apart, but we'll continue. And then he was like, yeah, and then we stopped, and I didn't touch him after he said, don't touch him. And we sat down and had a conversation, and I left, and I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but I apologized because I didn't really want anything from you other than sex and blah, 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 blah. And I was only mean to you because I liked you. And I've had sex with people that have been mean to me, so I didn't think it was a big deal. And the thing is, his story has plot holes, because let's drop down to, just because you have sex with people that are mean to you does not mean that is the same. It's like sex under false pretenses. it's so difficult to comprehend, but at the same time, we're gonna add in the other information before I get into my own opinions. So one of my mutuals called him out. He was like, you're a fucking fraud because you've hit on me on Grindr before with your profile that has your full pictures. Because he said that he sent the kid his pics, but he didn't bring any proof of that. He just said, yeah, I sent the pics, while the kid brought actual screenshots from Grindr showing I didn't know who you were. My mutual called him out, I believe Nick. My mutual Nick called him out and said, you've hit on me on Grindr before with your full pictures in your profile. You have a normal profile that the kid had blocked. Like the kid that Isaiah covered his face with to have sex with had already blocked his standard profile with his actual face pictures. Not to mention, Isaiah has an OnlyFans where his face is on full blast. Like his face is fully in the OnlyFans. So it's like you going, oh, I don't want my face on Grindr, but your face is on the internet with your whole spread wide open does not make sense. Like that's a crucial part that's like, it's not adding up because you already made it clear that you do public sex work. So it doesn't matter if you're on Grindr, that kind of thing. And then the other allegations began to come out where people accused him and his boyfriend of sexually harassing them, mostly trans women, saying that they pulled my underwear down and grabbed my genitals when I told them repeatedly not to, that they threw chairs against my wall in my apartment and bags of trash all over my bathroom, how someone else, like, all of his old friends and associates begin to come forward saying, this seems on brand for him. This seems like something I'm not surprised by. I've had to take moments to heal from the mental and emotional pain that Isaiah and his boyfriend have put me through. And I'm just sitting here like, before I give you my opinion, I'm just sitting here like, so this kid has a history of being problematic, dangerous, violent, and emotionally manipulating. And all of y'all were kikiing and laughing with him on the timeline because these are all his mutuals and friends that he's taking pictures with, videos, etc., hangs out with. But now that it's gone public, y'all want to come out and say, oh yeah, he's been a terrible person all along. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. And I remember I made a tweet about it going, if you've known this person is a horrible monster this entire time, why would you wait to tell anybody? Like, why would you wait to warn people until someone finally comes forward and says, no, this man SA'd me? Like, it doesn't add up. Like, you knew this person was this kind of bringing this kind of energy to the party, and y'all were still chilling and doing drugs with him. And because they all do recreational drugs, I'm not going to keep that part hidden. That's not alleged. They talk about it all the time on the timeline. So one of my followers said, do you think that the drug culture and gay culture has anything to do with this? And I definitely think the heavy drug use in our gay culture does affect our critical thinking at times, but it's not an excuse. Just like when he was like, I was just drunk and horny, that's not an excuse. Like, it's not an excuse, not to mention, I don't understand why he chose to remove his mask. So, in this story, he didn't deny covering his face. So I'm like, you've already proven that you've gotten into this man's house. He doesn't know who you are. You're already having sex. You're getting what you want. And then you take your mask off to show him who you are. Is it like a I got you moment? Or is it I just didn't understand why, since he was already getting what he wanted, why he made it a point to identify himself and freak the kid out like that. I mean, overall, it's very weird and bizarre and a predatory thing to do and not okay. But that really clicked in my mind, like, why would you make it a point to be like, yeah, I got you? Like, it's a fucked up scenario. It's a really fucked up scenario, especially because people are starting to blame the kid. Like, they're like, why would you even let someone into your apartment and you don't know who they are? And at first, that was my first thought. But I remembered, you know, some people have a kink for anonymous sex. Like, I don't want to know who you are, just drop your load at me and go. Whatever, I personally couldn't do that, but that's not my room to judge. You know, like, you're two consenting adults. But the thing is, Isaiah knew that if he knew who he was, he would not have consented to that because he had already blocked him and told him, do not touch me when you grope me at the bar, allegedly. So it's like, I don't want to see people going, well, it's your fault because you let a stranger into your home, because that's not cool and that's victim blaming. But it is something that should be brought to awareness, that we should be aware of who we're sleeping with. That kind of thing, you know, because I personally think it's dangerous. And my next video is gonna come from a follow-up tweet that one of my mutuals did, where it's like, it's dangerous to invite strangers into your home, let alone have them come to the door and you don't know who their face is. Like, that's the thing. If you just invited a stranger from Grindr to fuck, that's one thing. At the door, you can make your decision. But if you let somebody who has their face entirely covered into your home to fuck on you, it's like, it's a little suspicious. It's dangerous. Like, it's something that you should be careful of. But back to the story. After this, people were lighting her up. They were roasting her alive. They were eating her alive. They were they were rightfully holding her accountable because they're like, this is predatory. You knew that if he knew who you were, he would not have agreed to this. They got him fired from a big pride festival. A big pride festival that had legitimate celebrities like Charlie XCX and other gay aligned musicians. I don't listen to that gay shit. But actually, no, I do. I do, but I didn't pay attention to the lineup because I wasn't going. But it's more of he had a big festival lined up and he got fired from that. People are getting his jobs revoked. People are getting him fired from his businesses. So it's just, it came back to bite you. I don't understand what you thought would happen, especially when you made it a point to show this man who you were once you already got what you wanted. It just doesn't click in my head. I just can't wrap my head around it, especially the way that he tried to make himself seem innocent and he's the victim because I've been through SA before and I wouldn't call it that. And you don't understand that he was saying, I wouldn't call myself an R, an R-er. And people are like, you understand that you hid your identity, therefore taking consent away because you knew he would not have consented to have sex with you. So you are having sex under false pretenses and tricking him. And then you're trying to make it seem like you're the victim because he said, I'm going to call you out and I have a big platform. Girl, that's the thing. He said he's going to call me out and he has a big platform, but he doesn't have evidence. Like, everything he's saying has no evidence to back it up while everybody else is bringing receipts and or coming clean about their ex-friend. I'm still caught on the, you people knew he was a monster and you just let it go. But definitely drop your opinions down below. What do you think about this situation? Do you think... No. No. What do you think? No, I don't understand how anyone could think otherwise. This Isaiah tricked this kid into having sex with him. And after groping, harassing, and getting him kicked out of a bar. So it's just it's predatory. It's predatory, but definitely drop your opinions down below. How do you feel about this? It's not clicking for me. It don't move. And for everybody that basically rode with him until shit hit the fan, I'm side-eyeing you. I'm definitely side-eyeing you because you bitches are all, oh yeah, that's my friend, we're kikiing on the timeline. And some people said, no, we were trying to warn y'all, but the people that say, oh, he's always had this energy and I'm not surprised and y'all ain't never said shit, I'm giving you the side-eye. Most definitely. But yeah, that's the video. Please stay safe. Please be careful in these streets because people ain't shit. Boop. And once again, a quick thank you to all my patrons on Patreon and a quick shout out to my third eye tier patrons. Your support means everything to me and helps me do this a lot more smoothly. I will also be listing this week's live stream topic in case anybody wants to join in on the fun. I will see you guys there.